Welcome to Wild Breakaway with Tom Chorsky. I'm Audra Martin. For the second time in 6 days, the Oilers and the Wild needed more than 60 minutes to decide a winner tonight. This one went into a shootout. Ultimately, it was the Wild who grabbed the win tonight, which is huge considering sometimes that first game back after a long road trip can be tough. But tonight they got it done in a big way.
Well, it's tough because the team sometimes comes back, and if it's a place where they've won a lot and they're comfortable playing, they take their foot off the gas and they relax a little bit and they think it's going to be easier than it is. The Wild came out tonight a little slow. Edmonton had played last night, and surprisingly, maybe it's their youthfulness and their skill, but they came pretty hard, and the Wild did a nice job hanging in there. And then I liked how Dumba got his goal, and the Wild hung in there a little bit longer, and Devin Dubnyk was strong. So great game by the Minnesota Wild in the end, getting through overtime, had a power play chance, lots of looks, lots of pipes, and great shootout goal by Stahl.
Yes, great shootout goal by Stahl. Another great one from Chris Stewart as well. He continues to be very strong for the Minnesota Wild. Here's a look at tonight's final stats. The Oilers got out ahead early when it comes to shots on goal, but the Wild obviously battling back, getting the 36-27 advantage there. 1 for 3 on the power play for the Oilers. They now have 9 power play goals in their last 6 games. They've been on fire. Unfortunately, the Wild still can't take advantage of being on the advantage, but hopefully they'll turn things around in the next few days. Tonight, though, another very strong performance from the Wild's fourth line, and here's what the head coach had to say about that trio.
And I mean, they bring energy, all 3 of those guys, and Grayo had a couple really good chances. And they play big. They give the rest of the team some protection, and and I agree with you 100% that they did spend most of the time that they were on the ice, and it didn't matter who I played, whether it was their fourth line. After the first period, I quit caring who they were playing against, as they were doing a good job. And so I just, other than playing against McDavid, I wanted Mikko against McDavid all night.
So here's a look at what's next for the Wild. The Blues come to town as the homestand continues. That's a Sunday game against a very good St. Louis team who's won 7 of their last 10 games, points in 8 of the last 10. We know what to expect from the St. Louis Blues. This is going to be a dogfight on Sunday.
Yeah, and this is another situation where the Wild want to get these points now because they have games in hand and they're trailing the Blues, but if you don't make up points when you have those games in hand, they're not worth much. So another home game, Wild can carry that momentum forward. They're getting a lot of contributions from a lot of players, including that fourth line who's contributing, if not lots of offense, a lot of physicality, and a lot of good shifts. So Devin Dubnyk continues to play well. Zucker's getting goals. Stahl's getting back on track, so things are looking up.
Let's hope they continue in that direction. Sunday, 4:30, we'll get you started with Wild Live. We look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, for Tom Chorsky, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on tonight's Wild Breakaway.